this race, we'll give you 2 grids for the price of 1. The R200s will be the first grid. That's Ayrton Ray and Dylan Suresh on the front row. Thomas Harper and Archie Ray Watson on the second, from Lewis Dean and Ferenc Avesi, Matthew Plant, Rebecca Restel and Thomas Stevens rounding out the field. Behind the R200s, we have the Tyro Minis, and it's Hayden Adams and Max Flatley, Issy Wykes and Jack Griggs, then Samuel Sharp, Evan Withington and Chris Mayo. So with 2 races in 1, we're going to have a very tough race battle ahead of us here at Shenington. And we are under starters' orders, and off we go into the first corner. Ayrton Rai hoping to hold off from Dylan Suresh, but as they work their way through, it's going to be a very tough race battle. Hayden Adams holding the lead, by the way, in Tyro Mini. So as they work their way through Cafe and onto the main straight, up towards Stratford Hairpin, Archie Ray Watson trying to break into the leading battle. He's currently P3, so a very good start behind Dylan Suresh, the young man from Hornchurch. But it is Ayrton Rai that holds the advantage at the moment as they work their way through the Bruno Ferrari chicane for the first time. A couple of run wides there, but Ferenc Avesi, fairly sure that will be Hungarian in origin, with a name such as Ferenc. Has had plenty of nomenclatures in various different sports in Hungary. Thomas Harper, the young lad from Derby, continuing to work his magic as well. Top 5 for him at the moment.
Yeah, and I think Thomas, if he gets the right result in this, could be the championship leader at the end of this round as they go through the line. They're the Honda R200s. Here come the Tyro Minis. 2 classes on track at the same time as we get a quick look at Lewis Dean, the workshop man. I spent a year in workshop 1 week, Jake.
Just a year? Only a year?
Yeah, wasn't the best experience.
Well, fortunately, some good things do come out of workshop, as we've finally started to realise. Up to P4 comes Thomas Harper, so he's already picking them off one by one. That's a move on Ferenc Avesi. Meanwhile, Hayden Adams continuing in the lead of Tyro Mini. Issy Wykes, second position ahead of Max Flatley, the young man from Toaster, continuing on his way. So he's obviously home race circuit is Silverstone, no doubt. Ayrton Rai, Dylan Suresh and Archie Ray Watson. And I'll tell you what, they are starting to check out from the rest of the field. Now that Harper's got into P4, that little move has broken the flow for the top 3, and Archie Ray Watson is starting to edge them out. Rebecca Restel, meanwhile, the young lady from Sutton Coldfield, trying to work her way into the top 6, and going with her is likely to be Thomas Stevens, the young lad from Abingdon, which is just outside Oxford. So it could be an interesting run for the competitors there. Ayrton Rai, Dylan Suresh and Archie Ray Watson. Watch how intense this is going to be from Suresh. If he gets even the whiff of a gap on Ayrton Rai, and Ayrton is not going to know what hit him. Yeah,
there's 2 groups of 3 here in the Honda R200s. Here come the Tyro Minis. There's another 3 there battling for the lead in that one. Back with the Honda R200 class into Wilkins.
I tell you what, that's a mistranslation of Noah's Ark, isn't it? Because they're currently going 3 by 3 hurrah, aren't they? Ayrton Rai, Dylan Suresh and Archie Ray Watson out in the front end. Now, Thomas Harper is slowly breaking the toe of Ferenc Avesi. He's falling into the clutches of Lewis Dean and Matthew Plant, and Harper's just banged in a 49.61. That's fractionally quicker than the race leader.
Yeah, so Harper's quick, man from Derby. Got family in Derby, lived there for a number of years. But, here they come, back down the return straight into the Bruno chicane. Battles all the way through the field, Jake.
And yes, there is indeed. As we look at the Tyro Mini leaders, I was going to say that Suresh is looking menacing behind Rai, but it's also Issy Wykes looking threatening behind Hayden Adams. This is going to be interesting. Max Flatley's doing exactly the right thing, by the way, just keeping it nice and tidy in that 3rd position spot, and just letting the 2 guys up front do all the hard work. We were just looking there at Griggs versus Sharp. That's Jack Griggs and Samuel Sharp having a nice little tussle between them. Dylan Suresh now picks up the fastest lap of the race at 49.3 as he gets right onto the tail of Ayrton Rai. Look at this Tyro Mini battle, though. Wykes is looking for a chance here, and round the outside of all of them, Max Flatley was having a go.
Honda R200 class again on screen as we go up to the hairpin one more time. The man in the black and yellow suit, by the way, in Tyro Mini, Max Flatley. I think Max is the championship leader, so I'm not expecting him to be happy sitting in 3rd for the whole race. We'll have to see how that develops.
Ferenc Avesi trying to shake off Lewis Dean, whilst also going back after the attentions of Thomas Harper, who has just dropped them. And in 7th place, that is Matthew Plant, hoping for an opportunity to try and go for an overtaking move. There's the 7th, Ferenc Avesi, just working to pull clear of Lewis Dean. Over the line comes the leaders. It's almost a leading quartet. Never mind a leading trio, because Thomas Harper is eating up the road in front of him. He still believes that a victory is on. And with 7 minutes 40 on the clock, that's looking pretty doable at the moment. Here comes the battle in Tyro Mini again. Issy Wykes and Max Flatley just waiting for the mistake from Hayden Adams. If it doesn't come, then they're going to have to get their elbows out. Could be interesting later on.
Here they come, here they are. This is the Tyrone Mini battle for the lead. You can see Flatley easy to pick out there in the yellow and black suit. They go through Stratford hairpin one more time. Issy Wykes coming alongside, looking for the lead.
I think that's going to work. Going to go side by side. Somebody's going to have to bail out of it.
Yeah, she was on the outside there. She goes in on the inside, but then here we got Flatley around the outside. I think he's going to keep his foot in here, but I think he's going to have to give best through Hanger Bend.
Oh,
and he does.
Had to be really, otherwise there would have been contact, but somehow Flatley's still able to keep it round the outside. Issy Wykes has got to shut that door because Flatley's made it. Two terrific races for the price of one here. The R200s, Rai Suresh and Archie Ray Watson. And now we've got Hayden Adams, Max Flatley into second place past Issy Wykes. Not far away, Jack Griggs and Samuel Sharp could have something to say about it. Back to the Honda R200s. This is how close it is. Give it time, and Thomas Harper, who is racing in the vintage Jaguar Le Mans racing colours on that kart. It looks pretty awesome on a kart, to be fair. I've never seen it before on an R200, but it really does look the biz. Clearly there's some British racing heritage, shall we say, in that particular family. They're a big fan base, big lovers of racing, and the vintage Jaguar Le Mans colours do look pretty cool on an R200, I have to say. Right, Suresh and Watson. Here comes Thomas Harper. Through he goes. A little bit of a gap now between them and Ferencvárosi, Lewis Dean, Plant, Rebecca Restall and Thomas Stevens. And then in the Tyrone Minis, it's all going very well indeed. Well, Flatley's got into the lead by the look of it. So Flatley's got ahead just out of the view of the cameras. We'll pick that up in a moment because this battle for fifth is definitely accelerating a pace. Havasi, Dean, Plant, and then Rebecca Restall a little bit further back. So there's the confirmation you saw on the screen. Max Flatley has now gone into the lead in Tyrone Mini, but it will not be easy to hold on to. Speaking of which, Dylan Suresh is giving Ayrton Rai plenty of reasons to sweat right now.
Yeah, we're doing a great job here, cameraman, of keeping an eye on both races going on. There's two classes going on at the same time. Very difficult in sprint racing to cover it all, but we're doing as good a job, I think, as you could possibly do today.
Certainly are. Now, fortunately, traffic is not becoming that big a problem as well, because the lap time difference is not that significant. You've got 49 3s, 4s and 5s in the Honda R200s, and in the Tyrone Minis, it's low 51s, 52s. Now, okay, that's 2 seconds of that difference, but on a 49-second lap, you should just about get away with that without having to worry too much about traffic, but it is something that could come into play, so the drivers need to be mindful. Here's the Tyrone Mini class battle for the victory. Flatley, as you can see there, in the yellow and black race suit with the white helmet, has now got into the lead of the race. I have to point that out because in Tyrone Mini, the cars look almost identical to each other. Very similar in colour scheme, of course. Hayden Adams and Issy Wykes really starting to challenge Flatley. How about that? You've got the leading battle in Tyrone Mini on the back straight as the R200 battle was coming through Cafe. So you had two battles on screen at the same time. Up the inside comes Issy Wykes. Oh, a nose got properly chopped across there by Hayden Adams. He was not prepared to give best, and that's going to be a problem for Issy Wykes because here comes Jack Griggs.
Yeah, so the three-way battle in both classes is now three-way in Honda R200 still, but now a two-way. We've got 2x2 here in Tyrone Mini. You can see again Max Flatley, simple to pick out, isn't he, in the yellow and black suit, even from the drone.
It certainly takes the pressure off Hayden Adams for a moment because now he can be the one relentlessly chopping away at Max Flatley. But look at this, Jack Griggs is being the MVP here because he is going with Issy Wykes, and all of a sudden that huge deficit is becoming smaller and smaller. Jack Griggs definitely the MVP at the moment because now that's becoming a four-kart battle for the Tyrone Mini victory. Back to the R200s. There is a little bit of daylight between Rai and Suresh, and then another bit of daylight between Suresh and Watson, and they're going to get their first bit of traffic. Evan Withington has got to keep his wits about him because there's going to be a lot of firepower coming up the road.
Yeah, so Max Flatley, the championship leader, ahead now in the Tyrone Mini class, looking to stretch his legs. And Rai set the fastest lap, by the way, on the last lap. Jack Griggs now getting spicy. The man from Dunstable in Bedfordshire, the greatest town in the history of towns in the UK. I came from there. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I tell you what, as I said before, Griggs was turning into the MVP, and he's absolutely banked on that rep. Look at him, 4th place, and it's now a 4-kart battle. That's Griggs deciding, do you know what, I'm not going to race with Issy Wykes. I'm going to push her forward, and we're suddenly going to, all of us, be in this fight for the victory. That takes maturity. That takes a disciplined character to think about the long game. And so Griggs has got himself and Issy Wykes back into the fight for victory in Tyro Mini. And by being that smart, by being that mature, Griggs has now got just as good a chance as the 3 drivers ahead of him to win this.
Yeah, interesting. Jack Griggs, again, man from Dunstable. In fact, he lives just around the corner from where my mother used to live, interestingly. Honda R200 class, battle for the leads. They go through Hanger Bend, and it looks like the leader, Ayrton Wright, starting to stretch his legs here. He's the man that set the fastest lap.
Dylan Suresh is under big pressure from R200 Watson now, isn't he? That little bit of daylight has just taken the pressure off Rai, and so Suresh and Watson are going to have to scrabble away for 2nd place. Thomas Harper is sliding around all over the
place.
Yeah, I mean, that, I tell you what, the back end of the kart trying to overtake the front, that's tyre degradation. That's when the tyres are really starting to look like ice cubes now.
I tell you what, I thought Flatley was going to clear off, but he's going to lose the lead here, is he? Trying to hold on to it.
Little bit of tyre rubbing as well. That's left rear connecting with right front, and that's going to be Hayden Adams just having a think about it. Issy Wykes is going to dive up the inside now. She's going to have a look for 2nd place. Not going to happen as Hayden Adams comes back to the inside. It's getting properly busy in Tyro Mini. For Ayrton Rai, though, this is masterclass. He's pulled just enough of a gap over Dylan Suresh to be comfortable, but this is anybody's in Tyro Mini. Big dive at the inside from Hayden Adams now as he works his way forward. Rai, Suresh and Watson, they've well checked out from Thomas Harper. Harper will just be happy to finish in P4 the way things are currently looking in terms of his tyre management. But Lewis Dean has got the run on Fenwick Avesi further back for 5th position. So Lewis Dean is going to want to be top 5. But it's Flatley, Adams, Wykes and Griggs. So we're going to be racing for the Tyro Mini victory. Dylan, you're going to have some pressure. Here comes Archie Ray to the Bruno Ferrari chicane. And look at the Tyro Mini class battle. Flatley, Wykes, Griggs and Adams. Jack's got his way to 3rd behind Issy Wykes. He just takes his time, then he gets an opportunity. But we've only got 35 seconds on the clock. So by the time these guys come through, we're going to have 2 laps remaining.
On the Tyro Mini class then, the director and the cameraman doing a pretty good job of trying to keep on top of who's doing what in each of the classes. This is the Tyro Mini class, so Flatley has allowed himself to get a little bit of a gap, but it was nose to tail, wasn't it? It's not quite that now. We're back with the Honda R200 class, and here we go. Battle for 5th, change for 5th. Lewis Dean into 5th through Cafe Corner.
Fantastic stuff, dueling away with Fenwick Avesi, and it looks like Dean has managed to pick up that 5th place once again, and Matthew Plant is right in the mix of that as well, so Plant could actually go for something. Right, 2 laps to go for the Tyro Minis. Flatley, Wykes, Griggs, and Hayden Adams actually struggling to stay with them at the moment, and again, Griggs can just play the smart move here behind Issy Wykes, and he can almost edge Wykes to go for the move on Flatley. If they tumble, Griggs could steal it away. Last lap begins then in R200, and Ayrton Rai is looking fairly comfortable. What can Archie Ray Watson do on the final lap to topple Dylan Suresh?
Not sure, to be honest. It's going to be close, but I'm sort of thinking this is the way it's going to finish. If we get them coming up to Stratford Hairpin for the last time.
Here's the Tyro Minis. Now, they've got a lap and a half to go. They haven't quite got to the end of the lap yet, so this is going to be an interesting one. Issy Wykes having to think about it, but Flatley has positioned the kart exactly where he needs to. Jack Griggs starting to get aggressive. That's the first time I've really seen him be authoritarian behind the wheel. Across the line. They've got one lap to go. He's going to dive on the inside. Griggs will go for it on Wykes. Wykes has got to hold her nerve. Almost takes the lead away from Flatley. Out in front, though, in the R200s, it's going to be Ayrton Rai, just like his namesake Ayrton Senna has done at Shenington in the past. He hangs on for the victory in front of Dylan Suresh and Archie Ray Watson, with Harper in 4th position. Not a bad run for him. And it's going to be Fenwick Avesi in front of Lewis Dean and Matthew Plant. Oh, it's going to be close between them as they come through. In fact, it's actually going to be Avesi from Dean and Plant by only a couple of tenths of a second. Meanwhile, here comes the Tyro Mini battle. And is that Griggs? He's well clear, look. Griggs has got himself at a second, well clear of Issy Wykes. Is he going to get one final slingshot? He's going to have to come up with something very special if he's faster out of the final turn. Don't tell me he's going to steal it on the line. Griggs is going to try. So close. Oh, my goodness. What a fight back. It's Max Flatley that gets the victory, and deservedly so. but only just. Ayrton Rai in front of Dylan Suresh and Archie Ray Watson. Thomas Harper smooth and steady in P4. Fenwick Avesi wins the triumvirate battle for P5. In the Tyro Minis, Max Flatley just pips Jack Griggs across the line. Hayden Adams and Issy Whites were close in third and fourth. Sam Sharp not far away. In Honda Cadet 200 points, Thomas Harper leads the way. Lewis Dean and Rebecca Ressler are giving chase, with Ayrton Rai and Dylan Suresh now coming to the top 5. In Tyro Mini, it's still Max Flatley all the way, with the absent Jacob Aston now only 4 ahead of Hayden Adams.